Hi, this is Deacon Neil from the Southwark Diocese Catholic Charismatic Renewal Team. Just a short introduction of myself. I'm recently joined this team to help them, and it really interested me because I was very much involved in the charismatic renewal in South Africa. So I've let the cat out of the bag. I'm from South Africa. I came here last year in June, and I've been part of the parish of St. Thomas in Sevenoaks, and through Ingrid Latrobe I got to know Dr. Mark Nash, and so it's a great pleasure today to introduce Dr. Mark Nash, who's the director of the Agency for Evangelisation and for Catechesis. And then he also has another role where he's the director for the ongoing formation of priests in the Archdiocese of Southwark. So Dr. Mark, welcome to today, to our little program that we are running.
Oh, thank you very much, and absolute pleasure to be here. Thanks for the introduction, Neil, and thanks to Catholic Charismatic Renewal in Southwark for the opportunity to speak to you a little bit about the Agency for Evangelisation and Catechesis. I'm conscious that my desk is sort of facing forwards into a window, and occasionally when the sun comes out I look a little transfigured. I mean, I hope that I'm open to the Holy Spirit, but I think that's all it is. It's docility and openness. So and a lot of sunshine sort of pouring through the window at the moment. So I mean, thanks again for the invitation. You asked me to speak a little bit about the agency and I suppose its genesis and its work.
Yes.
So with regards to where I was before, I worked for the Archdiocese of Southwark for, it'll be 7 years coming up in January. And I started work as the Kent area advisor for the Centre for Catholic Formation in Tootingbeck. And then when sort of Father David Gibbons left to become parish priest of St. Thomas of Canterbury in Sevenoaks, I took over as director there. And our principal work was in going out to parishes on invitation. Clearly that was a major part of our work, but we wanted to make the centre a place to which people would feel welcome, to which people could be drawn for longer courses, workshops, seminars, a place of hospitality and a place of learning. And the COVID sort of situation, the COVID pandemic, plus also a sort of a change in vision, I suppose more broadly across the diocese, has led to something of a recalibration of priorities. So whilst we would from the centre go out, the priority now and the priority for the foreseeable future, and one which I think is the right priority, is to be more involved in parish life, in parochial life, being more involved with the sort of the so-called grassroots in the diocese, to come alongside parishes and people. So over the summer, the Centre for Catholic Formation decision was made to close the centre in Tootingbeck, which had been there for 52 years, and we give thanks for the probably thousands of people that have gone through those doors and learnt together, prayed together, eaten together. Food is phenomenally important. And recalibration has led to the formation of this new agency, which is a bit more itinerant, a bit more flexible, not contingent on drawing people to a particular place, but is very much based on the idea of being in and being with our parishes. So that's the principal conceit. So the change of emphasis and the change of name highlights a move towards this sort of grassroots pattern, towards this sort of coming alongside, walking with sort of our parishes. We are conscious over and over again of the unevenness with the way God distributes gifts. Scripture attests to this. The Catechism talks about this. Our own experience talks about this. The unevenness of gifts. We have a very, very good team. We have a team that's made up of a catechetical advisor, family, child and youth catechesis advisor, Ingrid Latrobe. We have a adult formation and missionary discipleship advisor, Lisette Genet. And we have 2 evangelisation and outreach advisors on a job share, Brendan Thompson and JJ Husson. But even within this gifted team, which also includes a local leadership coordinator, Isabel Fawcett, Anne Williams, who administers our courses, myself and the Episcopal Vicar for Evangelisation and Catechesis, Marcus Holden. Even within this gifted team, we have 175 parishes in Southwark. We have, according to the latest directory, in excess of 80,000 practicing Catholics. So there is wisdom and experience and tremendous potential everywhere you turn in the diocese. And we're conscious that we need to be with these people, trying to draw out something of their giftedness in order to yield fruit together. So that's the basic conceit of the new agency, is to be in the parishes, to encourage some of these talented and gifted individuals to give of themselves, perhaps beyond the parish boundary, but also to encourage parishes to draw up their individual sort of parish plans, and we would support that. Our work is never going to be intended to be any kind of imposition. We're not going to, encourage parishes with just 1 or 2 particular resources. We'll listen to what the needs are, to what the wants are, and work together to try and yield fruit in every parish of the diocese, God willing. So in broad terms, that's the scope and the work of the agency. Neil, I'm happy to answer any sort of further questions you may have, but this is a really, really exciting time.
Thank you, Mark. And the Archbishop, is he fully behind you in this agency?
Thanks be to God, yes, he is. Prior to the pandemic, Archbishop John was appointed, sort of about 18 months ago?
Yes.
So, yes, it was July 2019. We had Father Marcus and I, the Episcopal Vicar, had a handful of meetings with him, sort of leading up to the start of the pandemic, and then over the course of the summer, when the change from the Centre for Catholic Formation to the Agency for Evangelisation and Catechesis was mooted, proposed, and then took place. And he was always there, sort of guiding, sort of being with guiding the conversations with the Council of Deans, with various other priests and deacons. He's very much behind this. He said, I think at his inaugural mass, when he was installed as Archbishop, that he wanted a missionary diocese, a missionary archdiocese. That was his desire, that we be a diocese that puts out into the deep, a diocese that is burning with a love for Jesus and wants to share that love for Jesus with others. And the Agency for Evangelisation is one aspect of how this is to be done. We're under no illusions that we are the only aspect by which this is done. The parishes are the places where Jesus is proclaimed in the locality. Our sister agencies, the Youth Service, the Education Commission, the various other commissions, other apostolates, other groups within the diocese, we all have a part to play in the proclamation of Christ crucified and resurrected. And one of the things that we would love to be able to do as an agency, and again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, is to engage more frequently with apostolates, to make use of the gifts and the wisdom, the received wisdom, in order to bear fruit, in order to increase the amount of fruit that is born for the glory of God. So we know that there are lay apostolates and sort of religious orders and congregations whose particular charism and energy is in the areas of evangelization, catechesis, and formation, which are the 3 pillars that the agency is focusing on. So through conversations, drawing in and making those suggestions to parishes. Hopefully together we'll have a massive impact on the Archdiocese. But yes, the Archbishop is behind this, is very, very supportive. And I know he's holding us in prayer.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Mark. And is it my understanding that do you then reach out to parishes? Do you have like a program that you are reaching out to various parishes, or are you expecting parishes to come to you, or is it a reciprocal arrangement? How are you driving that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I mean, previously when we were at the Centre for Catholic Formation, as I say, it was drawing people to ourselves, drawing people to the Centre for study, and parishes would reach to us and say, look, I need particular help with liturgy of the word for children, or preparation for extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion, or confirmation, post-confirmation catechesis. The new model is based on us sort of reaching out, clearly responding to sort of requests, but the principal movement is sort of into the parishes, so that we can hear what the needs are in particular. So at the moment, in fact, at this very moment, a number of the team are contacting parish priests. We've got a sort of a rolling program of sort of phone calls at the moment. So I know at least 3 members of the team are on phone calls at the moment to parish priests. We'll be working through contacting all 175 parishes sort of over the next couple of months. This is a first engagement. This is an introduction. One of the things that we really want to hear is, what the particular sort of hopes, what the particular sort of dreams are for their parishes in terms of evangelisation, catechesis and formation, and how that touches other aspects of parochial life. But what we would love to be able to do in due course is to have sit-down meetings in person, God willing, with the parish priest and with a group of interested and engaged sort of parishioners to talk through what their vision, what their plans are for the parish, and how we can support that. One of the big things that we are looking to introduce as an agency is a series, is a sort of I suppose a stratum of deanery mentors in each of those 3 areas: evangelisation, catechesis and formation. We will be in regular contact with these mentors, and the mentors in regular contact with the parishes, so that each parish is provided with adequate and effective support that we couldn't give to 175 parishes as a small diocesan team, but to extend that reach. So a lot of that will be training.
And would those mentors be based from a deanery level, or would they cover more than 1 or 2 deaneries?
So the plan that we put before so the Council of Priests and the Deans that the Archbishop and the agency worked on talks about deanery mentors for evangelisation in each of the deaneries, a deanery mentor for catechesis and a deanery mentor for formation in each of the deaneries. So a cohort of 60 deanery mentors, all things being equal. Yeah. And then in each parish, we know that there are vagaries to the parishes. There are cultural, there are capacity sort of variances in parishes. Some are very small. The pool for which we might draw might be small or challenging, might be a transient community. So we're aware that there are challenges to this, but the initial idea is that each deanery would have 3 mentors and each parish would have 3 leads, so that the groups within the parish and the work of catechesis, evangelisation and formation might be served at the most local level with support from others.
Okay, great. I think that's really a positive move, and I really hope and I pray that there is the meeting of minds and hearts and together to take this forward. And I noticed that you do have a website. Can people contact you through the website if they wanted anything in there? There we go.
Oh, how beautifully done. Yes, so I mean, at the foot of that page, there's an opportunity to subscribe to the newsletter. There's an introduction to the team members. There's contact at the bottom, at the foot of the page too, if people have particular comments or questions. There's also the sort of email address to the left of that page there. Right at the top, we're creating weekly resources for parish groups to use via Zoom or individual meditation, so that resources tab. Scriptural meditations primarily at the moment, but we're also creating a suite of Advent resources with instructions on how to use them remotely. You know, we're conscious that people can't meet together sort of that frequently at the moment, certainly not during the second national lockdown. So we know that people are sort of, the devotional life of the parish needn't stop in time of pandemic. You know, our prayer life is diminished by our inability to attend the Eucharist and receive the Lord in Holy Communion, but we are able to maintain a life of prayer and build the domestic church. And some of these resources that we've created are an attempt to help parishes, help families, help individuals maintain a rhythm of prayer.
Fantastic. And just a last question. I presume that you mentioned there's an Advent program. Is that on the resources section of the website?
We'll put a separate page on the website. In the header, there'll be a sort of an Advent tab. Okay. It's a mixture of resources rather than a single program. Okay. So we'll have weekly scriptural meditations on each of the Gospels. We have, at the invitation of Bishop Pat Lynch, Father Michael Winstanley, a Salesian of Don Bosco, has sort of filmed 3 videos on the Gospel of Mark, on Jesus, the 12, and the little people. We'll also have some particular resources on the crib and on the wreath, so families can come together, pray and reflect, as you know, on the different characters in the crib, for instance, or as they light the candles of their Advent wreath. So there's a variety of simple resources that can be used at home or online as group meditation.
Fantastic. Wow, that has really been very informative today. And Mark, I really thank you for your time. And I encourage all our listeners to go onto your website, to reach out, and just let's ensure that evangelization, catechesis, and formation continues in our Archdiocese, and let's not let the COVID, stop us from doing what we really been called to do. So thank you very much today, Mark. Thank you.
Absolutely no problem. Thanks for the invitation. Lovely to be with you.